Good evening, and welcome to Mythic Rest, where ancient stories bring a little quiet to the mind. If these tales help you rest, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Now, settle in and let tonight's story carry you gently into sleep. Before the gods ruled the world, there were the Titans. They were the old powers, the ancient ones, born from the union of the sky and the earth in the first age of all things. Their king was Cronus, and Cronus was afraid. A prophecy had been spoken that one of his own children would one day rise against him and take his throne, just as he had taken the throne from his own father, Oranos, the sky itself. And so Cronus did a terrible, simple thing. Each time his wife, Rhea, bore him a child, he took the infant and swallowed it whole. Hestia, the firstborn goddess of the hearth, Demeter, goddess of the grain, Hera, queen of the heavens, Hades, lord of the deep places, Poseidon, master of the sea. One by one they were consumed, sealed in the dark prison of their father's body, and the world grew heavy with the weight of a fear that would not name itself. As you settle into your own evening tonight, let that weight settle away from you. Whatever fear you carry, whatever anxious thought presses against the inside of your mind, let it go for now. The night is here. The story is here. And this is a story about how the old fears are overcome, how the darkness that seems permanent always yields to a new light. You are safe. You are warm. And we are about to begin. When Rhea bore her sixth child, she could not bear to lose another. The grief of 5 swallowed children had worn grooves in her heart, deep and permanent, like water carved in stone. And so she went in secret in the dark of night to her mother, Gaia, the earth itself. And Gaia hid the infant on the island of Crete, in a cave on the slopes of Mount Ida, where the air smells of wild thyme, and the olive groves slope down to a sea so blue it seems to hold the sky within it. And Rhea wrapped a stone in swaddling cloth and gave it to Cronus. And he swallowed the stone without looking, without questioning, because fear makes a person careless. And Cronus was very afraid. The cave was deep and warm, lit by the glow of a single sacred fire that burned without fuel, without smoke, a fire that the earth itself had kindled to keep the infant god warm. The walls were smooth limestone, worn by millennia of water, and they held the heat the way a cupped hand holds water. Gently, completely, above the cave, the slopes of Mount Ida rose toward the summit, covered in pine and cypress and the low, fragrant bushes of wild thyme that release their scent when the evening dew touches them, and the scent drifts down the mountainside and into the cave mouth, mixing with the warm animal smell of the goat that grazed nearby, the goat Amalthea, whose milk fed the infant Zeus, whose hide would one day become the Aegis, the shield of the sky. the nymphs tended the child. Amalthea, the goat nymph, gave her milk, sweet and warm. The bee. Nymphs of the mountain brought honey, dark and golden, gathered from the wild thyme on the upper slopes, and the Curetes, young warriors, strong and loyal, danced outside the cave mouth, stamping their bronze, shod feet on the rocky ground, clashing their shields together in a rhythm so loud and so constant that no sound from inside the cave could reach the world beyond. They were the infant's guard, his chorus, his lullaby. The clashing of bronze on bronze, the stamping of feet on stone, the rhythmic, thunderous noise that drowned the cries of a baby god. This was the first music Zeus ever knew. Picture it now, in your mind's eye, as your own eyes grow heavy. A cave on a mountainside in ancient Crete, the warm glow of a sacred fire within. The rhythmic, metallic percussion of the Curetes dance without. And inside, an infant, safe, cared for, watched over by the earth itself, hidden from the father who would have consumed him. The infant does not know what he will become. He does not know that he will one day overthrow the Titans, that he will free his siblings from their father's belly, that he will build a new order from the ruins of the old. He is simply a child, warm, fed, held, and the rhythmic stamping of the Curetes is his lullaby, and the cave is his world, and the world is enough. And Crete itself, let your mind drift to that island, that place of olive groves and ancient stones. The sea surrounds it on all sides, the Aegean vast and dark, and glittering with stars tonight. The hills are covered in thyme and sage, and the low, grey, green scrub that the Greeks call frigana, and the air is warm even at night, carrying the scent of salt and herb, and the faintest sweetness of wildflowers that open only after the sun has set. Goat bells ring in distant valleys. The sound of the sea is everywhere, the gentle, rhythmic wash of waves on a shore that has not changed in 1,000 years. The sound that seems, to anyone who listens long enough, to be the breathing of the world itself. The infant Zeus grew. He grew quickly, as gods do, fed on divine milk and mountain honey, nurtured by nymphs and guarded by warriors. He learned the ways of the wild, the call of the eagle, the path of the storm, the language of the lightning that flickered on the horizon over the Cretan sea, and on an evening when he was old enough to stand at the cave mouth and look out at the world. A storm came, the sky darkened, the wind rose, the sea turned from blue to grey to black, and lightning, vast, branching, white, hot, split the sky from horizon to zenith, and the thunder that followed shook the mountain to its roots, and the young Zeus stood in the cave mouth and felt something stir inside him that was older than his body, older than the mountain, older than the sea. He felt the storm, not as something outside himself, but as something that recognized him, that called to him, that said, in the language that lightning speaks You are mine, and I am yours, and together, one day, we will remake the world. Zeus grew to manhood on Crete, strong and tall, with eyes the color of a storm sky, and a voice that carried the weight of thunder. He did not know his father. He did not know his mother. He knew only the cave and the nymphs and the Curetes and the mountain and the sea, but the world would not leave him in peace. The prophecy that had driven Cronus to swallow his children had not been silenced. It lived, it breathed, it waited, and when Zeus was ready, it found him. He descended from Mount Ida. He crossed the sea. He sought out Metis, a Titaness of cunning counsel, the wisest of her generation, and she gave him a draught, a potion mixed with mustard and salt, and told him to bring it to his father. And Zeus went to the halls of Cronus, to the throne room, where the Titan king sat in his heavy, jealous isolation, and he offered the cup, and Cronus drank. And what happened next was not a battle. It was a birth. One by one, in the reverse order of their swallowing, the children of Cronus emerged from his body, whole, unharmed, furious, and radiant. Hestia first, then Demeter, then Hera, then Hades, then Poseidon. They stepped into the light for the first time in their immortal lives, blinking, gasping, looking at the world with the wide, stunned eyes of people who have been imprisoned in darkness and are suddenly free. And they looked at Zeus, their youngest brother, the one who had been hidden in a cave, and they knew him. They knew him the way the sea knows the shore, the way the lightning knows the sky. He was their liberator, and they would follow him. As your own body grows heavier tonight, as the weight of the day begins to lift from your limbs, let that image hold you. 5 gods stepping into light for the first time, emerging from darkness into a world they had never seen. The relief of it, the wonder of it, the fury of it too, but we will not linger on the fury. We will linger on the light that comes after the darkness, the freedom that comes after the prison, the morning that comes after the longest night. That is where this story lives, and that is where your night is going, toward rest, toward peace, toward the lightness that comes when the heavy things are set down. The war that followed, the Titanomachy, the battle of the Titans, lasted 10 years, but we will not tell it as a war. We will tell it as the world reshaping itself. The earth trembled, the sea rose, mountains crumbled, and the dust of them darkened the sky for months at a time. Rivers reversed their courses. The stars themselves seemed to shift, to rearrange, to find new positions in the heavens, as if the old order of the cosmos was being dismantled and a new one was being built, piece by piece, star by star, in the slow, patient way that the universe builds all things. Zeus went to Tartarus, the deepest pit beneath the earth, and there he found the Cyclopes, the one-eyed smiths, the children of the old powers, imprisoned by Cronus because he feared their craft. Zeus freed them, and in gratitude they forged for him the thunderbolt, not a weapon in the way we understand weapons, not a thing of metal and edge, but a force, a power, a concentrated bolt of the sky's own lightning, held in the hand of a god who was himself made of the same substance. For Poseidon, they forged the trident, the three-pronged spear that could shake the earth and command the waves. For Hades, they forged the helm of darkness, the cap of invisibility that allowed its wearer to move unseen among all things, living and dead. And the Hecatonchyres, the 100-handed giants, the most terrible and the most powerful of the old powers. Zeus freed them too, and they took up mountains like a man takes up stones. And they hurled them at the Titan lines, and the earth shook with a force that it had never known and would never know again. The noise was beyond noise. The force was beyond force. The world itself seemed to cry out, as if the planet were a living thing, and the war that raged across its surface was the birth pain of a new age. And then it was over. The Titans were cast down. They were imprisoned in Tartarus, deep beneath the earth, in the same darkness where the Cyclopes and the Hecatonchyres had been chained, and the bronze doors of that deepest pit were closed, and the world fell quiet. Not the silence of before, not the heavy, fearful, watchful silence of Cronus's reign. A new silence. The silence after a great storm has passed. The silence of a world that has been rearranged and is now, slowly, settling into its new shape, the way sand settles on a beach after the wave has receded, the way the mind settles into calm after a period of turmoil, the way your own mind is settling now, gently, steadily, into the quiet of this night. When the war was over, the three brothers, Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, cast lots for the division of the world. The sky fell to Zeus. The sea fell to Poseidon. The underworld, the realm of the dead, fell to Hades, and each took his domain and made it his own. And the world that had been one was now three, and the three were held together not by force, but by a pact, an agreement, a bond that would last for as long as the gods themselves endured. Zeus established his seat on Mount Olympus. Not the physical mountain, the rocky peak that mortals could see from the plains below, but a realm above it, above the clouds, above the weather, in a place of eternal light and clear air and a sky so blue it made the Aegean look shallow. By comparison, the halls of Olympus were built of marble and gold, but the gold was not the gold of the earth. It was the gold of the sun, the gold of lightning, the gold of the first light that ever touched the first morning. The columns rose so high that their capitals vanished into the light above, and the floor was polished to such a sheen that it reflected the sky, and walking through those halls was like walking through the sky itself, afloat in a palace of cloud and stone and the slow, vast, patient light of the divine. Zeus took his throne, and the throne was not merely a seat. It was a statement, a declaration, a foundation. It meant that the chaos of the old world was over. It meant that order had been established. It meant that the universe, which had begun as formless void and had passed through the age of the Titans and had endured the reshaping of the Titanomachy, had now arrived at its settled state, its cosmos, its ordered, beautiful, lasting form. And Zeus, on his throne, was the keeper of that order. He was the one who enforced the oaths. When a mortal swore by the river Styx, the most sacred of all bonds, it was Zeus who watched, Zeus who judged, Zeus who ensured that the promise was kept. He was the guarantor of the world's coherence, the one who held the threads together, the one who made sure that the fabric of existence did not unravel. Beside him sat Hera, his queen, Hera, who had been swallowed by her father and freed by her brother, and now ruled as the goddess of marriage, of the bond, of the unbreakable promise. She was regal, imperious, and deeply loyal, and her presence beside Zeus on the throne of Olympus was the image of a partnership. Not always easy, not always smooth, but enduring. The way a mountain endures, the way a river endures, the way the oldest things in the world endure, not because they are simple, but because they are strong. Around them gathered the council, the 12 Olympians, each governing a domain, each holding a piece of the world's order. Athena, goddess of wisdom, born from the brow of Zeus himself. Apollo, god of light and music and prophecy. Artemis, the huntress of the wild. Ares, god of war. Aphrodite, goddess of love. Hephaestus, the smith, the craftsman, the maker of beautiful things. Hermes, the messenger, the swift one who crosses boundaries. Dionysus, god of wine and ecstasy, and the loosening of the self. Hestia, goddess of the hearth, the first to be swallowed and the last to be freed, who chose no throne, but tended the fire of Olympus itself, the fire that was the center of everything. Poseidon, the sea brother, who had his own palace beneath the waves, but came to Olympus for the councils. Demeter, the grain mother, who ruled the seasons and the harvest and the great cycle of growth and rest that was, perhaps, the most gentle of all the divine powers. And Zeus, above them all, was the sky god. He brought the rain that fell on the dry fields of Attica in the late summer, the rain that swelled the rivers and greened the olive groves and filled the cisterns and made life possible. He brought the lightning, the flash that split the darkness of a storm and showed, for one brilliant instant, the shape of the world. He brought the wind, the warm breeze of a summer evening, the cool gust that precedes a storm, the steady, salt-laden air that carried ships across the Aegean. All of these were his, and all of these were, in their way, gifts not always gentle, not always easy, but always part of the order, the system, the great design that kept the world turning and the seasons cycling, and the stars in their courses. The mood on Olympus was one of established peace. The hard-won order of a world that had once been chaos. The deep, settled, breathing calm that follows the storm, not the temporary calm of a lull, but the permanent calm of a world that has found its shape and is resting in it. And as your own night deepens, as your own breathing slows, let that calm be your companion. The storm has passed. The order is established. The world is at rest, and so are you. Night falls over the Greek world. From a mountain peak, any peak, it does not matter which, one can see the whole of Zeus's domain. The sea, dark now, reflecting the first stars, the islands scattered like dark gems across the water. The mainland stretching inland into darkness, the mountains black against a sky that is deeper and wider and more full of stars than any sky you have ever seen, because this is the ancient sky, the sky before light pollution, before cities, before electricity, the sky that the Greeks looked up at every night and called the home of the gods. The Greeks believed something beautiful about the universe. They believed it moved from chaos to cosmos. Chaos, the formless void, the undifferentiated mass, the state of pure potential that has not yet decided what it wants to be. Cosmos, the ordered, beautiful, purposeful arrangement of all things. The world as it is when it has found its shape. And Zeus's reign, the reign of the king of the gods, represented that transformation. The Titans were the old chaos. The Olympians were the new cosmos. And the story of Zeus, from the hidden infant in the cave to the enthroned king on Olympus, is the story of how the world itself moved from disorder to order, from fear to peace, from the swallowing darkness to the open light. This is the sleep metaphor, and it is the deepest one in all of Greek mythology. The mind, in the day, is chaos. It is full of thoughts, worries, plans, memories, fears, desires, the constant, restless, swirling movement of a consciousness that cannot stop generating, cannot stop processing, cannot stop churning. And then, at night, the mind moves toward cosmos. It settles. It orders itself. It finds its shape in the slow, deep rhythm of sleep. The way the world found its shape in the slow, deep rhythm of Zeus's reign. The chaos of the waking mind becomes the cosmos of the sleeping mind. And the transition is not a defeat. It is the most natural, most ancient, most necessary transformation that a human being undergoes. Every night, you enact the founding myth of the Greek world. Every night, you move from chaos to cosmos. Every night, you are Zeus, descending from the cave of wakefulness to the throne of deep, ordered, peaceful sleep. Picture a single night in ancient Greece under a sky ruled by Zeus. A shepherd on a hillside in Arcadia, his sheep gathered close, a small fire burning low, the stars turning slowly overhead, a fisherman's wife in a village on the coast, leaving a clay lamp in the window for her husband, who is still out on the water, the light a small, warm, steady point in the dark, a child asleep in a stone house in a village in the hills, wrapped in wool, the sound of the night breeze through the olive trees his lullaby, and far away in the distance thunder, not close, not threatening, just a low, gentle rumble that rolls across the sea and dies away, and then rolls again, and then again, as steady and as rhythmic as breathing, as if the sky itself were sighing in its sleep. The thunder becomes a lullaby. The rain, when it comes, is not a storm, but a blanket, a soft, warm, gentle rain that falls on the Mediterranean in the late summer. Rain that does not drench but caresses, rain that brings life to the dry earth and sleep to the tired mind. The starry sky is a ceiling, and it is vast and dark and full of light at the same time, and it holds the world the way a mother holds a child, gently, completely, without condition. And on Olympus, at the summit of the world, the golden throne sits for a moment empty. The king has stepped out onto the balcony. He stands in the night, and the night wraps around him like a cloak, and he looks down at the world he has ordered. The sea, the islands, the mountains, the villages, the shepherd on his hillside, the lamp in the window, the child in the stone house, and you lying here in your bed, in your room, in your own small corner of the cosmos that he built from the ruins of chaos. And the king of the gods watches the world sleep, and his watching is not surveillance, not judgment. It is care. It is the deep, ancient, patient care of a power that has seen the worst the world can offer, and has chosen, despite it all, to protect what is good. The thunder rumbles gently. The rain falls softly. The stars turn slowly, and the world rests. Sleep well. Rest now. Drift into the stories of old. Good night.